When the days are cold and the cards all fold in the same.
Well, I think 9 years ago, when the program started, it was really about getting people to buy into what we were trying to do. You know, I had a certain vision of what I thought the program would eventually grow into, and from the very start, we started working on that vision and trying to implement things year by year by year to make us capable of playing with some of the best teams in the state. That's what I thought would happen, partially because of our geographic location, but also partially because I had a theory that if you teach character and you demand your players to be of good character, men of character don't fail. And that, as much as anything, has been the major contributor to why we've been able to grow and prosper and expand over the 9 years. We started with 22 kids in the program. I think we had maybe 4 or 5 kids that ever played travel soccer, and now we're sitting with 68 kids in the program, and I'd say a good 30 of them play travel soccer, and it's just grown every year. We've gotten bigger and bigger. The biggest challenge is getting a team getting the individuals of a team to buy in to the whole team concept and understanding what their role is and how to perform their role. So many of our players have come in without a lot of travel soccer experience, so we had to teach them the soccer. And in the process, we use things like discipline, goal setting, working with others, time management to not only enrich their soccer play, but also their academic achievements and their work in the communities and in their homes. We've always been very mindful that our ministry is to develop boys into men, and teaching men how to react with other people, their superiors, their underlings, their friends, their family. That's a big part of growing up, and if we can teach them on the field how to do this, then it can transfer into every other aspect of their lives, because these things aren't compartmentalized. What they end up being is running like a thread through the tapestry of their lives. Well, each year we go in with an idea of what is our ultimate goal, and then we break the season down into 10 component pieces so that we can celebrate the successes along the way. So whether it's, you start out with practice in June, and that's step 1, and the big conditioning component of that. And then step 2 is July with the preseason tournaments and some more of the technical training. And then 3 goes to two-a-days, and how we are starting to form into groups and how those groups will start playing together. And then we look at the first 4 games of the season. How do we start off the season? Are we playing with focus and poise, or are we just kind of scattered around? And then we move in and evaluate this first half of the season. And how did we do there? And then at the end of the season, we're evaluating the second half of the season. And have we progressively grown with each game? And then we look at each step up the state tournament as its own entity. So we're looking at the sectionals. How do we get from where we're at to a sectional title? And once we accomplish that and celebrate that, then we go on to regionals, and then the semi-state, and then the state tournament. Getting to the state final is step number 10. That's our progression up that mountain. So that winning a state title is just the flag in the top of the mountain, marking our territory and saying we were here. And so when we break the seasons down like that, if you fall short like last year's team did, does not mean that it was a season that didn't live up to expectations, because we're celebrating these accomplishments as we go along. And for the last 3 years, we lost in the first game of the semi-state 2 years ago. And then last year, we lost in the semi-state final. And this year, we got over the hump and won the semi-state final so that we could now celebrate those accomplishments. And there's a lot of personal goals that we set out to do and individual goals that we set aside so that each individual player can have their own sense of worth within the concept of the team.
Yeah, it's been really special from where we've gone, where we are right now, and where we've been. Just being like brand new, for maybe a decade in the soccer program, we come a long way from just being a small team and being unknown to be like this well-known throughout the state team for having a reputation of having a good program. I remember being a sophomore when we won our first regional title, and that was really special. And from there, we just kept improving and kept growing from that, and it's been very good. I think it's just the experience that the guys have. Most of our players play travel soccer, and they've been in good games and tight situations like this before. They're used to the pressure, and we have a great group of guys who are willing to work hard every day. It'd be a great accomplishment. It means so much just to give back to Guerin, spending so much time here. It'd be so rewarding.
What's been the best part of this season?
Best part of this season? I think just the entire tournament, actually. It's been really exciting, nerve-wracking, especially last week's game with Bishop Lures, going in overtime and surviving then. I think the main thing is we need to possess the ball, control the field. It's gonna be a large field, and as long as we control it, play at our own pace, I think we'll pull out victory there.
He's not the most talented kid in our program, but Doug Caskey is the heart and soul of our program. His engine is always on, and he's the guy that makes the play. He's the guy that sets up the guy that finishes the play. He causes a key turnover, he makes a key pass, or he finishes on a key goal. And everything kind of starts with him. Then you add somebody like George Pappas, who's probably the most dynamic player I've ever coached. And with George, not only is he the leading goal scorer, but he's also the leader in assists. He's a very unselfish player, and for a player that's really, really head and tails above a lot of his peers, he doesn't act it, and he certainly doesn't play it. He gets everybody involved in the game, and he's very supportive and has a great vision and field presence. Our defense is anchored by David Hinkebine and Andrew Caskey, because those guys are just the mentally toughest kids I've ever met. Nothing seems to faze them. They're always really present and in the moment, and if we give up a goal, they just are quick to shake it off and move on. And if somebody makes a mistake, they're the first ones to go up to them and pat them on the back and say, listen, just next time you'll get it right. Don't worry about it. So those are some of the really big keys to our team. There have been some really good surprises. Jacob Cloran, we moved him from forward to midfield, and he has exceeded our expectations. He's become a very focused player, and he's very good at distributing the ball. His field vision is better than I ever thought it would be, and he's been a great find. Fernando Trujillo has been a great find. He's the first player to ever come from our C team all the way to varsity, and he's played significant minutes this year. He's much more versatile than I really thought he could be or would be, and he's a really good teammate. He is very supportive of everybody on the field, and if he's on the bench, then he's a big cheerleader and a big fan. But when he's out on the field, and he's seen a lot of minutes this year, he's very focused and is able to fill in a number of spots that we may be weak in. So those are the two biggest surprises I think of this year. Getting to a state championship is, from a program standpoint, it's a celebration of everybody that ever came through the program. And I wish I could call up each kid that ever went through this program and say thank you, because without their hard work, we don't get here. We don't develop the culture that we have. We don't have the dedication and discipline that we have. They work so hard, and for whatever reason, just never had the chance to get here. So As a growth of a program, I'm incredibly proud of what we've accomplished. 8 varsity years to get from literally practicing in the parking lot to a state final is, I think a great achievement for us. And it says a lot about, the kids that have come through. Getting over the hump this year was probably the most significant thing. Although the state title is really important to the team, to myself, the accomplishment of getting there, I think, supersedes the outcome of one game. Everybody can have a bad one game, but the process they took, having been denied last year, having the pressure that comes with being #1, not only all of this year, but almost every week of last year we were #1. The pressures of friends and family talking about the state tournament and how you're going to be there, and it's June 10th, and you don't know what you're going to look like in a month or two, let alone thinking about a state title. So all those pressures build up, and that's what I'm really proud of. Is this team is very resilient. They've dealt with adversity throughout the season. Sometimes it's key injuries, sometimes it's a goal that really kind of cost us a game. Sometimes it's within a game where we go through a bad stretch, but then we come on, we collect ourselves, and we move on. And the resiliency of this team is the thing that I think I'm most impressed with. So being able to overcome our demons, the semi-state really held a lot of demons for us. And to face down those demons and face a lot of adversity in that game, then to collect ourselves and win it in the overtime. That was probably the best moment I had as a coach, watching those guys celebrate their accomplishment and being able to see just the ear-to-ear grins that they had. You can tell I'm thinking about it now because I can feel myself starting to smile. But seeing how happy they were and how proud of themselves that they finally got over that hump, and now we're going to play for a state title. What an accomplishment, and I couldn't be more happy for them. Yeah. Well, we sent out an email to all the parents on Sunday night after the big win last Saturday, and just telling them, with all the hoopla that's going on, we want there to be a sense of normalcy. Homework needs to be done, bedrooms cleaned, kitchens cleaned, curfews met. Practice has been the same like it has been all season long. On Wednesdays we have varsity dinner. We had the same varsity dinner on Wednesday. We've tried to keep this week as normal as possible so that keep it as long as possible, just another game. This is just another game. And we're all about routine, and the more I can keep us into that same routine, the more comfortable as a coach I am. And I think as a team, they're more comfortable. So we've tried to keep things very normal. The big coaching and teaching moments are gone. This week we've tried to just keep kids sharp. Lots of touches on the ball, maybe fine-tune a few things, but we've also tried to keep it really fun. With all the pressure that's been on them, I want practice to be the place where they can come and laugh and just enjoy each other and enjoy this run together without the added pressure of, okay, now we got to go out and win, or if we don't win, it's going to be the worst day of our lives. With that being said, it took us a long time to get here, and we've worked awfully hard. I told them this year, we're going to work like nobody else will so we can win like nobody else does. And they've done that. And they've done everything I've ever asked of them. And so if we do come short, it will really hurt. It will really hurt them. But at the same time, I think that we are mentally and physically and emotionally prepared to take the field. I think on game day there's going to be a few butterflies, but I know all those butterflies will be flying in formation. And I want that a little bit of anxiousness. I think that, performance occurs on the razor's edge of disaster. And I want them to be a little anxious and excited to take the field. And I think if we do that and we play with the composure and poise we have all season, that I think we have an opportunity to achieve a great success.
I guess really just we just kept going. Even though it was tied at the end of the game, none of us really thought that we were gonna lose the game. We just kept doing what we were doing. No one really gave up on the cause. I guess I would just say that we're really close as a team, and we can sort of just joke around and have fun at practice, but also be serious at the same time. So it keeps us from being too business-like in a way. And so we have little competitions with each other at practice that sort of push us a little further than it would if we just went through the motions at practice. Just sort of the whole having fun again. We've been having fun this whole season. We all like to smile, so just go out there and have fun we've been doing this whole season.
What song is Doug Cassidy listening to on his iPod for the state championship game?
My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion.
I think losing this year, actually, we lost twice this year, and that helped us get used to close games and handling the situation. The year before that, we didn't have any close games, and I guess we didn't know how to handle situations as well. And we got our losses out of the way, I guess you can put it in that perspective. And that's what I think the difference maker was between this year and last year. It means a lot to us because we know that we're a hard-working team, and it's our goal from the start of the season. It's every team's goal, and to be in contention for a state title, knowing that we're in the top 2 teams in the state, it's an honor to be. We just got to play our game. We have a lot of times during games we get out of our style of play and start playing to the other team's competition. And if we just play our game like Coach taught us, then we should be fine and hopefully take home the state title.
I am insignificant. We are very powerful. We are the greater sum. We are greater than the sum of our parts. And it takes that we to develop not only a program and a culture, but it takes that we to get through the adversity, and we will face adversity during the game. So we includes just not the players on the field and not just the coaches. The we includes the team moms, and the we includes the JVs, and the we includes the manager, and the we includes the director of athletics and the training staff and the strength and conditioning coaches and the administration and all those people that come out and support us. And then the we really embodies the students in the school. Being an emotional game, I was talking to the captains and I said, what made this so significant for you? What was the thing that really brought you the greatest amount of happiness after our wins? And to a man they said, knowing that we're representing our school, that this isn't just about us, that it's about everybody that came before, and that's everybody here today, and then everybody that will come in the future. And that, being able to be a representative of your school, it takes it to a whole new level and adds a whole new dimension to it. So that power of we allows us to share in our success, not just among the team, but with everybody. And I think it's that sharing of that, of those goals and the sharing of that joy that makes it all that much more sweet. For me, looking at it, this is the culmination of the vision I had 9 years ago. If I told you I thought we would win a state title in 9 years, I'd be lying. Of course, I didn't think that. But I did have the vision that we would be a consistently solid program, that we would consistently graduate good men, and that we would help them find within themselves that manhood. Coaching soccer at Guerin Catholic, I think, is the best job I could ever have. I'll never coach at another place for the rest of my life. Certainly not as a head coach. I would never be a head coach anywhere else. And so when I look at what we've accomplished and how we've gone about it, and I think of, I think we've done it the right way, and we've tried to include as many people as possible. And when I lay my head on the end of my pillow at the end of the day, I'm gonna look back and say, you know what? We did everything the way it was supposed to be. We embodied the tenets of Guerin Catholic, and I lived up to my ministry.
First of all, and the bloods run stale. I wanna hide the truth, I wanna shelter you, but with the beast inside, there's nowhere we